Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Global Games. I'm Raven, and joining me is Lothar, of course. We have our last series of the day. It's going to be Russia versus Spain.
Yeah, and a highly anticipated match. Russia seems to be top dog of the entire competition, at least from my opinion. And I don't know, what about you?
Well, you know, I'm with South Korea, to be honest.
Ah.
I think they're doing pretty well. But yeah, Russia is a very, very strong team in terms of you just look at the individual accomplishments of each of the players, and they're actually incredible. I mean, for a start, we have the current world champion in there as well. So we can actually check out the group to see where Russia and Spain line up with the rest of the group. We'll have a look at that in 1 minute. But yeah, you know, Russia looks absolutely incredible. They're in with Spain, of course, which is the match we've got coming up. And then we have Australia, Austria, Argentina, all the A's, and then New Zealand sweeping in
at
the back. So
3 teams with A.
Yeah, Austria and Australia. That's going to be a good match to cast.
That's not the same country?
No, believe it or not, we're learning new things every day here at the Global Games. Yeah, and New Zealand as well. So it's looking like a pretty cool group, but Russia do just have to be noted as the standout team overall. There's Pavel, silver name, ShtanUdachi, who's the current winter champion, and Iner as well. And then we have Duck, Feelink, Evangelion, and Josemi. And you know, talk a little bit about Spain. Evangelion is a player I actually love to watch. We were both in Valencia when he just didn't lose with Nazov Paladin at all.
I think it was like 9-0 with the Paladin deck.
No, it was more.
More, right?
13-1.
Wait, it was the entire top 8, and he didn't lose a single game
until the finals.
Paladin, until the finals.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he went something like 13-1, which was absolutely ridiculous. And he plays for Valencia Football Club, which is kind of great. And I believe Josemi is actually on the team with him, I'm pretty sure as well. So, you know, it's fleshing out the Spain team there. But yeah, we can check out what the matchups are going to be. Just to remind you, this is a 4-on-4 competition. We have all 4 players able to communicate either in live, like together in the same room, or on voice comms, of course. We see Iner going up against Feelink first, Pavel versus Duck, ShtanUdachi versus Josemi, and Silvername versus Evangelion as the 4th pick. And that genuinely surprises me.
Silvername is an ace match.
Evangelion might not play. That's what surprises me the most.
Yeah, and he's also not the ace player.
Yeah.
Interesting enough. Like, to be honest, I was 100% sure that the ace match will go to either Pavel or Shtan in Russia. And for Spain, I was almost 100% sure it will be Evangelion. Like, he's the most experienced from every player in Spain, at least from the team, right? So I was like confident that he would be chosen as the ace player.
Yeah, kind of crazy. And the weather's looking fantastic in Russia. It's looking pretty good. I normally just imagine snow when I think of Russia.
And bears, of course, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, those are actually sweet buildings, man. Wow, what an architecture.
We had to check out Spain. I've been to Spain multiple times. It's a very nice place. Weather's pretty good. Sometimes a little bit too hot for me. But yeah, you know, these players are actually... this is kind of a David versus Goliath story, in my opinion, in this specific match. Spain, do not get me wrong. Spain, I love Evangelion for a start, but Spain's team is pretty strong. But Russia has the current winter champion.
Yeah.
He has the current world champion. And then they have Iner, who's played in championships before in HCT. And they have Silvername, who's mainly known as a huge Russian streamer, but he can also play the game pretty well from what I've been told. So.
Yeah, and when I was talking with him, that was DreamHack Winter last year. He was actually talking about being competitive. He wanted to go into the esports scene. He said, I'm preparing for a long time. I want to be in that scene. I want to be part of that. I don't want to be only a streamer, you know? He wanted to make a splash on the his own community, on the local scene, and play in the international scene as well. So as you can see,
he did it.
Go. He now plays here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. And again, it's just great to see ShtanUdachi come out and play. I'm looking forward to seeing what decks he's even playing, because he took a bit of a reserved approach to the Winter Championships. He even said, we asked him about it at length. We were like, look, you're known as a deck builder. You build crazy, awesome decks. Why do all your decks look standard-ish? He was like, yeah, I just thought these were the best decks. I really want to win. You know, he's not trying to do anything fancy on ladder. He wants to win. He thought they were the best. Well, now you have to be a crazy deck builder, Shtan. You know, that's in terms of this expansion, everything's looking crazy. We've seen so many different deck styles, so many different archetypes in just one day from a few teams. Yeah, it's not as if this is the whole tournament. This is just a small portion, one match per group from, or one match not even from every group, but 5 of the groups. just today. It's one match. We've got all sorts coming up.
Well, so far from every single deck I have seen today, I was like actually sure that we'll see it at some point. But the Murloc Warlock was something I didn't anticipate at
Yeah,
all.
that's absolutely nuts. We can see the class choices here. Iner is going to start on the Mage, and Feelink for Spain is going to go in on the Rogue. Again, I think we've had like a 50-50 split between Quest Rogue and Miracle.
I don't think it was a 50-50, although I think the actual win
two
rate...
Miracle players and two...
I think we had...
Quest Rogue. Have we had more than that?
We had more than
Okay.
that, I think. But the win rate of the Quest Rogue is actually not that high, from what I remember. The first 2 matches were lost by the Quest Rogue, at least today. It sometimes just doesn't align, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes someone will be just more aggressive. Then we have seen a match between Show and that was Lovilchuk, if I remember correctly, when it just came down to the fact that a Swashbuckler did give him a taunt.
Yep.
To not die against the Druids. That was really close as well.
Yeah, we see the players getting ready there. They're both seemingly talking to each other. They're actually talking to their teammates on comms. So, as we said, this is a 4v4 tournament, and all 4 players are effectively discussing the game and playing at the same time, although the player you see on the screen is the pilot. So that's the person physically playing the game and finally making the choices, to be honest. You know, if we were playing together and you said, no, I want you to make this play, and I just said no, you can't really stop me because I'm playing the game. I could just be like, no,
They're
I want
not
to do
in
this
one
play.
room and they can just punch that or something, right? So
That's against the rules. Don't do that, guys.
is it? I don't remember.
It's probably against the behavior rules that you cannot beat someone up on stream.
Well, you can.
And
be
it's
like,
just
you know,
me.
Purse with
Just
it.
because you beat me up on the video, man. You're very aggressive is Lothar. But yeah, we saw the decks there. We saw Iner and Feelink getting ready. And Feelink as well, like, cool background. There's a lot of Hearthstone posters and images as well, so I appreciate that.
Look, a Murloc. I mean, there. We actually have seen him today being played. The tight collar.
In Warlock. On purpose.
Yeah. Anyway.
Truly an amazing day. But yeah, these players are just going to get ready, and just to remind you as well, it's going to be Pavel, Iner, Silvername, and ShtanUdachi going out for Team Russia. One of the strongest teams going on here, and this is an open the way gate with Cabal Courier this time, a card that will generate you a card that is not from your deck. So
But it might
secret,
be not a spell. Might be a minion, right?
That's fine. Oh. Ah, you just pick a spell every time, right? But yeah, you want to prod the quest, so it's fine. Yeah, that's a good point. You can't get a minion, but I imagine we are going to see a spell. And again, just a slightly different slant on Waygate. We haven't seen Cabal Courier, I believe, today. It might have been in the decks, obviously, but maybe not. We're going to see Feelink play what looks like more and more the standard list of the Quest Rogue. Looks like Oskaka's the variant he was running, or at least close. Glacial Shard, for example, being a common pick.
Wait, is it Feelink or Feelink?
Feelink is what I say.
Yeah, but it might be also Feelink.
Is it
I don't know.
Lothar or Lothar?
That didn't make any sense.
You don't make any sense. Lothar. But we are going to move on to the game starting now. Comments below going to be pretty easy to go off when there's nothing else to do on turn 1. Feelink here and Iner again with the quest. We're going to just see a pretty standard turn 1, I think, from these guys.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's no babbling book for Iner, so he will not play the babbling book before the quest. Especially against Rogue, it kind of makes less sense because your opponent on turn 2 just can play dagger and kill it, and that's about it. For Feelink, though, his turn 2, it seems weak as well. He doesn't have a Shadow Step to bounce the Novice Engineer back immediately, and he doesn't want to risk it and just play it on the turn 2 without anything, right?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? It's like when you're trying to actually bounce, you know, a card like that, you can't just play with your one real minion because you're never going to bounce the Murlocs. You can't really just play like the one minion you've got and hope, right? That's how you lose with this deck more than anything.
Especially when you, well, face a mage that can just ping it, right?
Coming below, nothing too crazy. Again, we can see the level of discussion.
Do I play the quest?
So guys, we need to work hard on this. Do I turn 1 the quest or not?
Do I show him that I'm playing the combo? I mean the quest rogue.
It's a consideration.
Have mercy, guys. We are casting the 5th match today.
And it's got the choice now between Waygate and not Waygating. And I believe you also want to get the quest done, or at least get it active for the mage. And that was the first legendary I opened in expansion, and it was gold. Yeah,
well,
sick.
quite jealous, man.
Yeah.
Another vanish. So far, we had seen 3 versions of Quest Rogue with vanishes, or at least 1 vanish. Osaka was playing it too. Not sure about MK. What was it?
MKR.
Empire?
I didn't. Did he? He vanished, right? He vanished.
Yeah, I
Fucked
think
his
that,
thing.
I think that was him, and then it was Osaka, and now we have Feelink.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card.
For Iner, though, we are seeing 1 Archon Giant, so most likely it's not the version with the Sorcerer's Apprentices.
Yeah.
Although, who knows? We have seen Molten
I mean,
Giants.
who
and
knows at
Sorcerer's
all? We've also
Apprentices.
seen, as we said before, Murloc Warlock today. So who knows is pretty like the theme of the day, I think. Lothar, who knows indeed, and I believe Feelink will just have to go for the dagger up here. He doesn't even have anything else that looks like bounceable, right? It's not as if he has a boar, a deckhand in hand, nothing. So keep throwing this novice away this early could be a huge problem for him. So Spain are going to rope us every single turn here.
Hopefully not, I beg you. I think Iner is like, yep, that's happening.
You just rope dagger. You should be used to this, being on team with Life Coach.
Well, you know, I got used to it. But when I'm casting a 5th match the entire day.
I mean, I'm okay because there's we've had a lot of crazy stuff going on today, so I'm pretty good. The coin into Acolyte of Pain might just do enough. There's only dagger equipped, there's no minions. The minions don't really trade into Acolyte well anyway. If the Acolyte eats and eviscerate this early than 1, Feelink still isn't bouncing minions. And also, like, well, yeah, there's 1 eviscerate card, I'm still drawing the card.
But we have 2 Kabbalist Home, and if you can just play Acolyte and 3, then coin out Kabbalist Home.
I would just
Actually, you can overdraw, so no, that's not a good idea.
I would just want to do something this turn. While the rogue is doing nothing and clearly struggling with draw, or like a card to actually bounce, I just want to start getting ahead and make the rogue try and react.
Well, it's definitely a possibility that if you just keep the coin and play the Acolyte of Pain on the next turn, your opponent can just ping the Acolyte of Pain and make you overdraw.
Yeah.
And that's definitely problematic. For Feelink, though, it's kind of a no-brainer. You need to play Mimic Pod, because Cold Oracle is a great card when your opponent is actually drawing cards the same turn. So you can burn maybe that 1 crucial card. Double backstabs. Not the best when you're playing the non-miracle rogue version.
Not too bad though with Van Cleef. We can set up a potential double backstab if another minion comes down from Feelink's view. But we can actually just like backstab and maybe play another card on Van Cleef if he draws something like a boar, but we will see.
Double Ice Barrier? Well, that's surprising.
Ooh, there we go. Backstab Swashbuckler Van Cleef, 6/6, seems good.
Seems good. You get also patches from the deck. 3/6, 7/8/9. No, you don't want to give him 3 draws. So it's just better to backstab that. Mirror Entity. Does it change anything? Not really.
Nothing too much.
I mean, it's actually
You've got to
horrible.
be careful because of Doomsay.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually horrible because of Doomsayer. So you can only play this card after actually both Doomsayers were played.
So do you see the Van Cleef turn come out? Gonna try and apply some pressure. And so far, Feelink is just nowhere near anywhere completing the quest at all. Whereas it's gonna be getting a little bit further ahead with a card like Primordial Glyph in hand as well.
Well, at least what can happen is that he can win just by advanning his opponent a few times. Swing in for 6.
It's reasonable to me.
It's actually 30 if you swing enough times.
So it's a 1-attack minion. If you swing 30
Yeah, okay,
times.
30 times and 5 times. It's quite a difference.
Okay. Convenient.
All right, Iner. It seems like a glyph might be a good start, but at the same time, you want to develop the secrets as soon as possible because you have an overload of them. So Ice Barrier doesn't look bad right now. It actually soaks the entire turn of damage.
Just buys a turn, and you know every turn you buy is a turn closer to Flame Strike, I guess, at this point. The problem is Flame Strike does 4, and once the quest comes out, they're going to be 5. So that can be a little bit of a problem unless there's a Blood Mage Thanos or an additional AoE or pre-done damage already done.
When Imagine if there would be a Shadow Step right now. That Call That Oracle would have been deadly. We could have actually seen like Call That Oracle, concede. Because you just burned your win condition.
It's true, we're going to see the first one come out.
Vanish? Shadow Step? No. But still, there's a possibility because you can play Vanish next turn.
Iner's going to burn.
Yeah, he will burn one card, but if the Call That Oracle is still in play next turn, you can just play Vanish next turn and get it back to your hand, play it again, and overdraw your opponent once more.
Yeah, and also look how clunky this is as well. Like double Flame Strike, and then there's double Tome. There's just going to be no time or room to play any of these minions, and Vanish is just going to keep making it worse as well. Something that Spain are going to have to be very conscious of is they are roping almost every turn, and communication's great, but not to the extent where suddenly Feelink's rushing, right? Because that could be a very serious problem. Is as more complicated turns sort of turn up, so to speak, then these let's talk until the rope starts burning. A decision needs to be made, and as long as they have a key shot caller, then fine. But it's definitely something they need to be aware of, because the second this gets a little bit difficult, so we're going to see missed attacks like we've already seen today.
Well, it was very close, actually, right? No, wait. Who was that? First match, right? It was in South Korea. 7 damage missed. Yeah. It doesn't really matter because the matchup was already won, but it did happen.
Yeah, you shouldn't just randomly miss damage.
MKR was really close to miss killing out a Doomsayer, like split second before it actually happened. And he would have lost the game because of that.
Yep.
All right.
And it has to try and micromanage this whole hand here and try and work out exactly what he needs to do. Babbling Book puts a card in his hand. Primordial Glyph puts a card in his hand. Tome puts 3 cards in his hand.
Wow.
Tries to.
Discovery now. Oh, wait. Shatter. Frostbolt Shatter kills Edwin.
Can't cast them both this turn though.
Oh, you're right. No, wait, he's able. Because it's -2. So Frostbolt Shatter is for 0.
Of course.
But he goes for the second Ice Barrier. And now, this is a problem because the Panda is being drawn. The Call That Oracle can be played again. 3, 6, 9 cards for Iner. 2 cards will get burned. I think you do it.
I would be okay with this, yeah. The only thing to be aware of now, though, Iner has Molten Reflection for the Arcane Giant. Which means he can actually start stacking Arcane Giants relatively soon. Not right now, but with the help of a Frostbolt and maybe the Battleburn Book spell, can really go for it. And we're going to see it as well. Feelink is going to get this fatigue train on the go, or at least the card burn train. Let's see what Iner actually burns off it.
Can also get another Shadow Step. Oops, almost. Molten Reflection is burned.
Okay, he has a cheap one anyway, it's fine.
Yes, that's true. And Feelink actually is not aware of the fact that another Molten Reflection is in the hand.
Yes, Feelink still has a few options. A lot of 1-drops here, but not too far away into the quest yet. Only 2 minions, and that Cold Light is the minion that's the 2 of on the quest. So
yeah, that's true. That's
something you normally want to bounce, but this could be a good strategy for Feelink to try and sneak out a win here against this quest mage.
Arcanal just actually a useless card right now.
It has all his secrets, right? Oh no, there's 1 ice block.
Oh, you're right. 1 ice block left. Well, it's still not that bad. He needs an. He needs a Frost Nova right now.
I'm surprised. Must be a way. That's definitely tough.
To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't kill the add-on last turn.
Oh, not really a card he can play either.
So it looks like
more cards clogging up his hand.
Frostbolt, Edwin, and Ice
block.
Block.
Just to get cards out of your hand at this point, I think.
Yeah. And then you plan to use Flame Strike next turn? Man, this is not looking great for Iner. If another bounce effect will get played and that Call That Oracle, again, will burn some cards, it spells disaster. So that's Ice Block, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he definitely won't play the Molten Refraction, so... Ooh. 3, 6, 7, 8 cards on the menu for Iner. So at least 1 will get burned again. For Feelink, that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. He needs to play something on the board, but it's not a problem. Since he can just play prep. Oh, actually, he can just backstab.
Yeah, you can backstab, prep, mirror entity. All sorts of stuff. He's already seen one Doomsday burn.
Yeah, one Doomsday was burned. Mirror entity does. It's not really, I think, a good choice right now because of the second one that still might be in the hand or in the deck. Okay, so he kills his own minion instead of the Babbling Book just to have it in case for a vanish. Which is actually possible because you can prep vanish.
Oh, he drew the second one. Well, that was nice. He gets the secret.
Nice.
Oh, hang on. Is he going to overdraw the secret?
Arcane Giant.
Wait, does he get the secret or is his
3,
hand full?
6.
No, Feelink messed up.
Oh
his hand was full. He burnt the secret. Oops.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. There we go. Huge problems when you play the fatigue game. Lesson 1. Do not burn your quest. It's like, do you win condition? What's he do now?
Well, that's a big blunder.
All the teamwork in the world cannot help you. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, the pilot's got to deal with it. And that is a huge blunder, and Iner knows this. And this is the time to strike, as there are a deck full of 1, 2, maximum 3 attack minions in there now.
Well, that spells escape.
Concede.
Exactly. I mean, he could have actually played the prep first. Make space. Get the quest.
So we're teaching you lessons here. If you draw cards that prop the quest at the same time, the cards get drawn first, guys. So, you know, think about it. Think about it.
Well, I literally think there's no way Feelink can win anymore.
I wouldn't say no way. It's going to be hard. He needs to start poking away for one.
There's no way of winning.
He just Alex trousers now, right? How many quests is he on now? 2. In his 2 quests, sorry, 2 points into the quest. Vanish is just going to try and chip him down with those boars. We were joking earlier, if you do 1 damage 30 times to face, you kill him. This is very similar to that. There goes Frostnova. That's a shame, actually. Frostnova would have been nice.
Oh, well, now we can just play the Giants. So...
Giant, what? Giant Molten?
Babbling Book, Molten Core Reflection. I mean, you can see what you get first from Babbling Book.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something cool. Glyph. Oh, well, that's actually fantastic against those balls. Keep them in check, mate.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And also, just 1 mana reduce the cost of the Giant down as well.
Yeah, so it's like for 0 mana.
Mm-hmm. So there's actually, you can just create the Giants this turn and Alex Traz next turn win.
Yes.
They have to vanish. And if they vanish, you just do it again.
Will you burn anything with the mirror image?
Well,
the
you
second vanish?
go 1, 2.
Well, in this case, you need to play the Arcane Giant first if you don't want to get them vanished. But it's a high chance that actually it's not intuitional because of the fact that you want to get the value lower, right, of the mana cost. But he actually doing it.
Hey, look, this is Team Russia, okay? These guys are not messing around.
Actually didn't play the mirror image. Okay.
I
So
didn't need it, right?
yeah, they didn't need it, and it plays around Vanish as well, because it's 3, 6, 7, 8 cards, so 1 Giant will get burned if the second Vanish will get played, but it's still okay.
If the second Vanish gets played, that's most of the turn, and then you just play Alex Trouser anyway.
Yep.
Put him to 9. Put him 7, sorry, and kill him.
Well, Feelink can play Mirror Image, Mirror Entity, sorry. So Vanish, Mirror Entity, get that 8/8 back.
That's very slow, though.
Well, he has to do it anyway. What else do you want to do?
Many options.
Cry.
You have
Because I burnt my quest.
2 Mirror Entities. It's kind of unlucky when you think about it in this matchup. But also the fact is it's #unlucky because of the quest. So seems pretty bad.
Okay, pigs get him. Can we Bo vanish?
It's a lot of XP, man.
Okay, one giant and one babbling book. Babbling book's gonna help him get towards his quest. He is 3 spells off, and there's currently only 2 spells in hand that will proc the quest. The Silence Ball and the Mirror Image. So there's the Alexstrasza, no surprise to really anyone at this point. And now Iner's like, look, you just double vanished. Play the Alexstrasza, deal with it. Glacial Shard is going to say ice to meet you and deal with this. He's even going to bounce it to be able to get more value to stop at this 8-8. But there's still so much juice in the tank here for Iner. You can actually just get to the point where you just file on Paul's face. It's like, why not?
Yeah, why not? And also, the Mirror Entity has no value right now because you know that your opponent has a Babbling Book.
Yep.
Well, this doesn't really guarantee anything for Feelink. Spain has to be feeling low after that match, after that play, sorry, with the quest. Arcane Missiles.
You could cast Arcane Missiles.
I mean, greater Arcane Missiles. But both Vanishes were played, so it doesn't really matter if you play the Mirror Image right now.
Yeah, and it's just checking out this game, basically. Just being so safe, clearing off all of the minions as well, dropping the giant down, and now it's just like, okay, look, you can stop 188, can you stop the other? Probably not. And if you can't, even if you can, I'll probably just win 2 turns anyway.
Man, that has to be feeling terrible for Feelink.
Yep. Not something you want to do. It's going to bounce it, stop both 8-8s. So Feelink's just buying time here, but...
Still on the defensive, but it doesn't really do much.
No, we're going to see... is he going to bounce the ice again? Maybe he has to.
So he bounces to freeze the 1-1. Wow.
No, he just doesn't replay it. Saves it for the 8-8 again.
I feel like you need the pressure. Pressure.
that 2-1 pressure, Lothar.
Oh my.
I'm way past turn 10 in the game. I mean, you can just Flame Strike at this point.
You can just also
doesn't
greater
matter.
Arcane Missiles. But you know the opponent played a secret, so it might actually be a counter spell. So what do you check out first? Maybe you go for the creature first because it gives you the chance to see Polymorph Potion or Mirror Entity.
Guess we're gonna see. He's gonna go for the Grey Arcane Missiles. I don't know if we're going to just see Violence Portal because he knows it's not counter spell. One spell away from opening the Waygate.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't, but you know that'll keep you up to date a little bit.
Let's go. Shadow Step on Novice Engineer.
Nice, gonna shout out. This is freeze the 8-8s again.
It really doesn't do anything.
And it's just chuckling to himself. Just like,
it really doesn't do anything.
Nice to meet you indeed. Boop. This is just lethal anyway. Babbling Book is a card. Oh, Frostball also helps. Yeah, but Violence Portal with Babbling Book and Ping actually is just the game.
Well,
unless it's Ice Block.
Exactly.
Which is why it is pausing over.
Iner is just like, what if it's Ice Block? Does it change anything? I have a second Ice Block in my hand as well, so killing me doesn't really do much. Unless someone is playing Eater of Secrets. But yeah.
Let's go check. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one.
It doesn't have taunt though.
I saw 4-7. It's pretty good stats. Pretty good board.
It's pretty decent.
He's got to check for Ice Block and be rewarded. Iner takes the first game, a very long game there, which I felt should have been a lot shorter one way or the other.
Yeah, to be honest, after a burned quest, I was like, yeah, you're gonna concede that, right?
No, I could freeze for days. But Iner taking Russia 1-0 up. And you'd have to say as well that, you know, Iner out of the 4 is probably, you know, probably like the third less well-known. I said well-known, like, you know, Silvername's a huge Russian streamer, so he's very well-known, but in the competitive scene. But, you know, that next up is like Pavel, ShtanUdachi, like, this is only going to get harder for Spain, and making mistakes like that is just not going to be good enough to take down Russia and take down most of the teams in global games, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially now, after a game like that, your morale is really low, and other players also are bearing that, like, the weight of that. They were talking with the player during that game. They were making those decisions that, together. So unless the pilot of the deck just made the decision himself to play the prep first, he messed up. But if every single player in the team made the same call and didn't think about it, that has to be like affecting them.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. As I said, there's potentially in every single game you see, every single player you see playing has potentially 3 other voices in his head. Like, as his teammates are talking to him, discussing plays, saying what they should do, and all the while you're trying to actually like make the plays. Very easy to make mistakes, but a mistake like letting you quest your win condition, you pretty much only win condition as we saw then, just get burnt away by drawing, especially when you're doing the fatigue on your opponent, right?
You're doing the thing on your opponent and you're actually being hurt more.
Yeah, because the idea is that you're burning cards of your opponent should normally mean that you're very self-conscious of your hand size and how much you can control that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. Yeah, basically, and ended up burning the road quest, which was rough. Did hold on for a while with that Glacier, but not going to be enough when there's just unlimited at 8/8. It felt like at one point onto the board with Alex Straza and a couple of Arcane Giants paving the way. So yeah, Russia's going to take a lead. I believe we can check out who we've got coming up next shortly as the players are just getting ready. And yeah, I mean, I think this is just going to be a bit of a problem for Spain, to be honest. I think, like, Pavel, ShtanUdachi, Silvername, they're all playing together as well. There's not much you can slip past those guys.
Definitely not, and especially interesting to see what kind of decks will Spain bring, right? They did bring the Quest Rogue. I hope they actually will stick to most aggressive strategy in general. It feels like when you want to overcome, in theory, a better team, a better player, you usually want to be the more consistent one, right? So you bring a deck that has a focus, that is easily doable with every single card in your deck. So decks like Pirate Warrior, Zoo, Face Shaman, Hunter, they always focus on one thing. So it's easier to bring down a player that is playing a more sophisticated deck because it has.
Not that people who play aggro aren't sophisticated, by the way.
No, it's just saying deck, not people.
Okay, just making sure.
But it's just it's pure fury. If you have a deck that is consistently doing one thing, you're just winning more often than the deck that is like approaching the game from different angles and might have different win conditions every single time.
Yeah.
Right. So when I feel like
the road deck feels like that to me. Just bounce. The trick is just not to burn their quest.
Yeah. Well, that happened literally once the entire day, and probably will not happen again for like few weeks or maybe even never.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least in this competition, right? Yeah. So if Spain wants to take this, I feel like they need to pick the aggressive decks.
Yeah, and they've already decided what decks they're bringing as well, and in terms of the order of locking them in. So again, just a reminder, you guys, of the format in general is it's effectively a team best of 5 with each player being a deck to a certain extent, and then there's a potential if it goes to 2-2. We're going to go to an ace game to decide who's going to get it. We just got a couple of issues sorting out the players, wrangling the players for this next game. So we're going to go to a very short break. We'll be back soon and we'll update on what's going on very soon. So don't go anywhere, guys. Welcome back to Hearthstone Global Games. We are sorry about that short break. We just had a bit of an issue we had to quickly deal with, but it has been sorted now. There was some confusion from the Spanish team in terms of not the way quests work, but the couldn't help myself, I'm sorry.
But I was just hoping that you were not going there, but
okay.
You went there.
I'm sorry. But in all honesty, very serious. The confusion was they were unsure or didn't get the correct information regarding Russia's player lineup and classes. So they still lose their first game. So that's just set. You know, they lost. So that's the game done. They are 0-1 versus Russia. But they have been given the ability to slightly adjust their class rotations or player rotations, I think is the key one. Yeah, after game one. So game one is done. They're 0-1. Once we've got confirmation that they've all set up and ready to go again, we'll be moving on to game two, and we will carry on the series as normal. There was just a point of confusion, a slight hiccup. But as we said, this is a brand new format for these players, a new format, you know, along with just a new way to play in terms of the teamwork play, playing with players they might not be used to. So there's a lot of things to juggle, and you know, if people just have a misunderstanding, I think it's completely reasonable. But the main point is we fixed it, and we're ready to get into some more Hearthstone.
And we're going into the match 2 of Russia versus Spain.
Yeah, and we saw you know, pretty much dominance, in my opinion, in terms of that first game. You know, even though there was the mistake that actually just led to an easy victory.
Yeah.
Not so much dominance in that aspect, but in the speed in which Iner was playing. The sort of posture and the way he came across on camera,
The decisiveness,
versus Feelink, who was like, you know, they were almost roping every turn. They were talking a lot. He seemed okay in terms of like happy sort of thing, but they were roping quite a lot, taking things till last minute, and like it feels like on the end of Russia, they're just like, oh yeah, we just do this play, yeah, no problem, guys. You know, quite easy going. Whereas Spain seemed a little bit like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, do that. You know, like that's the way it comes across on here at least.
I think the problem with the quest being burned is actually because of taking too much time for the turn, because they started doing the moves, like the important moves, already when the rope was burning, and that adds additional pressure.
It's like starting a miracle turn when your rope's burning. It's a nightmare.
You can't wait to play the Kazakhstan when you have 15 seconds left.
Exactly.
There's no way, especially now with the quests also taking additional time because of the animation.
Significant. Yeah.
Yes, the animation is actually pretty long.
Yeah, it is. In terms of, you know, pretty long, it's like 2 seconds, but 2 seconds is a long time actually in terms of Hearthstone time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's definitely interesting, and we'll just get the updated graphic for you guys so you're fully aware of how the teams go up against each other anyway, and how the classes are going to line up. So we're working on that, and we'll get that up for you pretty soon. So yeah, in terms of how today's gone, did the winners go as expected? Obviously, -1 match, I guess.
Oh, I've seen actually right now Ardiu's tweet that his prediction was like 3 out of 3 during the first games, and I think he actually predicted China to win against Sweden, but I'm not sure. But when it comes to my own predictions, I feel like, well, obviously I wanted Poland to win, but objectively speaking, I think Taiwan
is very strong.
Is actually way stronger, a way stronger team. So I'm not surprised Poland didn't win, but my heart was like, you know, very emotional.
Same with me in the Philippines, man. I was actually rooting for the Philippines.
All right.
Not that I live there. I'm from there. No. No, it's in like I was rooting for that team, and they got really close against Czech all the way this morning. Back so long ago. You know, Stancic, Prokovac, and so on. Czech Cloud and Yara, of course, took it out over the Filipino team. But they were really close. I was like, I want these guys to win. They're very passionate, do a lot of local events, and they're actually really good.
Yeah.
But it is only match 1, of course, as we said. So a lot of cool matches going on. I was happy Korea won, because
it's a good team.
Korea.
It's a good team, definitely a good team. But in general, I feel like I wasn't actually anticipating such a big deal about the fact that the national teams are playing, right? We have a lot of viewers.
Yeah. Hello. How's it going?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. When your country is playing and you get to see other countries clash as well, not even your own, but, you know, we get to see some cool matchups. Like, how often do you get to see a team from China play against Sweden? You know what I mean? Like, it's never happened, and it doesn't really happen that often. There's more generic, like China versus America, China versus Europe, etc. But specific countries going at it, we don't really get to see. So we're glad to bring you this fantastic show called Hearthstone Global Games, and yeah,
Actually pretty hype.
Especially with the fact that
it's
got some great casters as well, I've heard.
Yeah, and the one that's actually bad is not present today anyway.
Yeah, we decided, you know, we were like, so there's, you know, only 2 of us can fit on the desk. There's 3 casters. I guess we just get rid of the worst one in the form of Sol. I'm going to pay for that tomorrow when I believe he's going to be back casting with me. So, ouch. And we can see the remixed version. It's going to be Pavel next on the Priest versus Duck on the Mage. I actually don't think too much has changed.
Yeah, I don't think too much changed,
based on this. So yeah, I think the rough ordering is the same. There might have just been a class mix-up or two. So yep. Everything's completely cool. We are almost ready to go, and we get to see the world champ play. I've hung out with him often, and his confidence grows by the day. He's a bit of a daredevil as well. Before he was in the Bahamas, he was just in a volcano, he said.
What?
You know, you can like
you know the shaman card?
Yeah, the shaman card volcano. Yeah. But he just visits volcanoes, goes traveling a lot, enjoys it. So he's getting a little bit crazy in his young age.
Evil and evil.
I don't know, but he's very good at Hearthstone, and definitely wouldn't be or isn't happy with his performance during the Winter Championships. So I have no doubt he'll want to crush some nerds at Hearthstone to make himself feel better. So we'll see how it works.
I'm really looking forward to his priest. I hope it's the Miracle Priest with Lyra or Lyra, because it's
like Lyra.
All right,
it's like Shaman, right?
Let's go with Lyra because that's how she sounds.
She sounds awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All that matters. She sounds awesome.
It's a new card. Maybe some people don't know how she works, but it's a 5-mana legendary for 3/5 stats that when you play a spell, it gives you a random priest spell. And in theory, everyone was laughing at that card, right? It was like, oh yeah, that's a way worse gadgeton. Doesn't make any sense to play that card. But in practice, it shows up. Almost every single spell that you get from priest is actually super useful.
Yeah, and then there's the elementals as well for priest that reduce. It's basically a sorcerer's apprentice that's a 2/3 for priest. So those spells, a lot of priest spells are actually really cheap.
Yeah.
And then you reduce them to either like 1 or 0, which then becomes absolutely ridiculous. And so if Lyra is played, we can see Pavel there, the world champ, just chilling. Where is he? Is that a window at the back or not?
Yeah, that's a huge window, man. Huge
just
window.
Chilling, yeah. He's just on a balcony outside by the looks of things, just showing his Russian palace. And we see Duck, of course, representing Spain. But yeah, as I was saying, if Lyra gets played, we are being quiet when it attacks. Oh my god, just to listen, it sounds so epic. It's going to be Priest versus Mage, though. And Priest has, depending on the list, Priest has certain ways to steal cards, like Ice Block, which can really mess up Mage plans as well. So definitely going to be a cool matchup, regardless of what versions they're playing.
Well, it can also be quite decent against a Quest Mage with Archon Giants, because you can just get out of the range, right? If you're just not getting killed with 30 damage one turn, you can actually heal back with Priest of the Feast, an example, with like cycling through insane amount of spells. But at the same time, you have no way of just stopping an OTK by Molten Reflections and Sorcerer's Apprentices. Yeah,
the OTK is always going to be the weak point, as the nature of the name, it just kills you in a single turn. Very difficult to try and play around or defend against. But what I was going to say as well, some of the spells you get from Priest, okay, there's one failed card name. There's Caster Bingo. It's crossed off. The heal for 5 to a minion and yourself.
Forbidden Heal?
No, the new Priest one. Where you heal a minion for 5 and yourself.
That's Forbidden Heal?
Forbidden Heal is the Paladin card.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Anyway, you can get that off Lyra, basically, and then suddenly you can heal yourself and heal up a minion quite a lot, push yourself out of potential lethal range, but let's not mess about any longer. Russia are up 1-0 versus Spain, but now we're going into Pavel versus Duck. Pavel on the Priest, and Duck on the Mage.
Ooh.
Love it.
Curious Glimmerroot.
And this could be harder. This could be actually hard.
This, yes, against a Quest Mage. Wait, it's not a Quest Mage. It's a Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
Because there's no quest in the opening hand. All right. So this makes it actually quite interesting, but it's always like you have only one good option, right, with the Curious Glimmerroot.
Normally, but that's not necessarily the case, right? What if it's Fireball, Frostbolt, and something, like Ice Barrier? Then you're like, oh.
Well, all 3 are in the stack, right? But wait, does it count cards
two have to be wrong?
Hand?
Yeah, 2 have to be wrong, right?
But what if the deck doesn't have Frostbolts, an example, because they're already in the hand, and you get a Frostbolt because there's no more Frostbolt in the deck?
I just don't know anymore. Glimmerroot is a card that actually just confuses the hell out of me most of the time. Let's see what happens, we'll decide. But yeah, I guess it has to force 2 cards that aren't in the deck, which suddenly become very obvious most of the time. Unless you try and play around Glimmerroot. By putting like a random card in your deck.
That's a pretty sweet tactic, man.
Yeah, is Glimmerroot that much of a threat, though? That's the question. We're just going to see the Acolyte, the Cleric come down on turn 1, though.
It's very similar to Acolyte, though.
Draws cards, potentially. And this looks like the burn version. Is this just thing? Oh, no, it can't be, right? With barrier? Freeze mage with valet?
No. Has to be then. But it's definitely not a temple mage. It just kind of helps, right? When you have the valet against
I suppose
aggro
it's just more damage, right? As well. You know, because you lose the ice lance and stuff.
Kind of.
Let's see. Let's discover together. Cabal, Talon Priest onto the cleric. It's going to help it keep her alive a little bit longer.
Thanos as well. Well, unfortunately for Doug, he didn't draw the ice block. He had actually, I'm guessing, 66% to chance that a color just brings up the ice block. So you can play it on turn 3, and turn 4 you can go Medivh's Valet and Ping.
Yep.
To deal with some creatures. So in this case, he's actually pushed to use something different than the secret, because Ice Barrier will not held up.
All right, here we go. Second Valet and a Doomsayer. So Duck will be looking up to pick up a Frost Nova pretty soon. No Glimmer Root on 3.
No. Well, drawing 2 cards out of just a single.
Yeah, it seems pretty reasonable.
Single heal seems like a better life tap, twice even. You don't even lose life, you actually gain it on a minion, so that's fantastic. Second Priest of the Feast. Seems like a good defense line against an Alexstrasza if it will pop out of his opponent at some point.
Yeah, and this list is going to be super interesting to look at, because so far we have not seen any silency type cards. You know what I mean, like combo silence cards. We have not seen any dragons. We have not seen the quest. Is this just priest?
Well, priest with Lyra, I'm guessing, because it's just good.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you run Lyra in most things, right? But in general, I just wonder what the overall plan / win condition of the deck is when you're just playing priest things. Like, I'm just got good priest cards. It's Dragonfire though.
Dragonfire Potion is always good, right? And it's an exceptional card against Quest Rogue. It just deals with an entire board, apart from, Edwin, with at least 1 combo piece, right? And some random cards because of Swashbuckler.
Yep.
But other than that, it's a sweet spot. And we didn't actually see Dragonfire being such an important card in the metagame before the expansion.
Yeah, it was like the odd tech choice, right? Like
yes,
you
exactly.
Use it occasionally.
But nowadays, it actually shines, and the full power of this card is unleashed.
I wonder.
Not going to be too good versus Freeze Mage, though.
Well, you know. It
No, I
can
don't.
be, it can't be great in every single matchup. And
Man, this Freeze Mage. Okay, so Pavel's got a few choices here. See him talking to his teammates over the internets. It's going to go for more value. I do like this style in general. Just while you can get insane card draw with Priest, you kind of take it, especially when you know your opponent's playing a slow deck.
Ooh.
There's Ysera, so maybe he's just not drawing any of the dragons, or he's just playing Ysera as a late game minion, like you used to play Ysera back in the old days when it was just a strong legendary, and the fact there was a dragon didn't mean that much.
well, there was no synergy with dragons. It was just a dragon.
That's what I mean. It just happened to be a dragon that was a late game card.
Yeah, and back in the day, you had types of minions, but it didn't really matter apart from beasts.
Yeah, only beast matter, yeah, for Hunter as well. Only for Hunter, I mean. No, this beast druid malarkey.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 2 turns away from Flame Strike for Duck so far, so just a build up to some big AoE, and even that's not going to take down the beefy cleric with 6 health here. So this plan is actually really difficult without an ice block live, right? You have 2 valets that can get work done now, but it kills a 1/1.
Well, it can kill the 1/3, right?
Oh, it does 3 damage.
Yeah,
not
it
2.
does 3
Sorry,
damage,
I
so it
take it
can
back.
kill 1
Yeah, it can kill off a cleric, which is actually reasonable. But then the ice barrier just kind of doesn't accomplish much.
Oh, just the Doomsayer? Well, we know it's double Doomsayer. Well, 1 Shadow Word Pain will actually make it awkward, right? Because you can... No. It's actually 6 damage. And 1 to...
Glimmer Root.
Do you want to
I don't
play
know
Glimmer
I don't
Root?
know
What do you need?
Glimmer
What do you need to get?
Oh.
Nothing will help. Literally not a single card, apart from Archon Missiles. And your opponent is most
What
likely
about
not playing
he's
that.
playing Crazed Alchemist?
In a Freeze Mage list?
I'm just saying.
You can say what you want, but that's not a card in
I mean,
his
it
deck.
still wouldn't help anyway, because it only kills 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of those ducks kind of just said, well, I can't do much else. I'm going to drop double Doomslayer, hope there is no double pain options. Also, one turn away from the Bookworm as well, so this does look like it is a form of Dragon Priest similar to what we saw earlier today.
Also, an interesting thing is that Pavel will get a card out of the Crystalline Oracle, so he needs to play something out of his card if he doesn't want to burn a potential card in his deck. Unless he just wants to risk it and just, you know, say,
Risk it.
let's go.
Or maybe escape.
I will just burn one card.
Yep. Oh, is he just going to kill one? I suppose there aren't, or he might presume there aren't many Shadow Word Pain targets anyway, and
Yeah,
he has a Bookworm next turn. So you know what? I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
there's
trading
no
off the
way
pain,
he will read that there is a Medivh's Valet in the deck, right?
Yeah.
And you need Shadow of Death for that. Even so, you still have the Bookworm to kill any creature with well, you know, that amount of attack.
Yeah, 3 less, yeah. And then I got the Alex Straza from Duck, so that's looking pretty good for Pavel. Nothing too crazy as Duck's already on like around 15 health anyway, but a potential heal up for Pavel that's going to be unexpected to a certain extent.
If it's not enough to have like 2 Priests of the Feast, right? Because that's basically more heal if you just squeeze like 2.
Well, also as well, Alex Straza's a dragon, if you didn't know. So it actually procs all your
is
dragon, yeah, actually procs all your dragon effects without needing to use her. You know, whereas your Sarah, being a late game card, you know, it's going to get used at some point. Do you see Alex Straza now for Duck though? Just a little bit too early.
So what's fun is the fact that Pavel did get the Alex Straza, so he could have drawn the conclusion that Alex Straza is not in the hand, so he can be kind of like he can have a different approach for the game because of that fact. But Doug just did draw it.
So Duck's trying to signal us. Show us 5 fingers if you're being held against your will.
No, it's 10-7.
Sorry. So we see, you know, the two valleys could be an option just to take down this Bookworm. It looks like he's gonna go for Dirty Right instead.
Oh my, this is...
Oh my god, you Sarah.
This might be a tricky play. Do you just go for the Dirty Red? Oh my god, imagine if Sarah will get brought up. No!
Glimmer, please.
No, I actually wanted to see that card in action.
I like the shuffle.
Oh
the
my
cards.
god, that's unlucky. 3 super big minions. And he got the Glimmer Root.
So he's gonna. Sometimes the world champ isn't lucky.
And Dak is like living in a dream. I was like, yeah, it was a good decision. It was a good decision to play that card. Like, I knew he would not have anything big in this deck.
Even Priest of the Feast would have been awkward, right? You know, like even the 2 Priests of the Feast in hand.
Well, he's pretty certain that it was a good call. Little does he know.
Drake, good Dominion to get down now as 4-9. So use Powered Shield, one of these dragons. Make it even more difficult and almost like immortal to actually deal with for the...
he will go for a second one. 100% he will go for the second one because he knows that it was a good decision back then.
No. I wouldn't believe that for a minute. Oh my God. Duck, please, if you can hear me, which I know you can't, don't do it.
You will go for it, man. And
Why?
this time...
I don't know what it accomplishes.
Well...
I genuinely don't know. He can't even Flame Strike this turn.
I don't know, he just wants to build a board. He can always fireball something, right?
Yeah, but do you want to? Do you not probably need the burn?
He goes. He will go
Is
for
that
it.
right?
He went for it. Oh my god.
Duck should be called Rat. Dirty Rat.
Dirty duck.
He is a dirty duck. Okay, so he's got a bit of a taunt wall up, and the Valley is just chipping away there. There is a Fireball, double Frostbolt in hands. It's 12 damage. Just from hand, and can play them both along with a ping as well. So that's 13 from hand. Alex Straza might be looking pretty reasonable for next turn for Duck here.
Especially after he saw that one Priest of the Feast is dead. I'm guessing he's keeping the power shield, Pavel is keeping the power shield for the combination with the Priest of the Feast or Lyra.
Yeah. Also, as well as like for an Alexstrasza turn, there's Priest of the Feast, Powered Shield, Shadow of Death, which helps as well. And if that happens post turn 10, you can heal on top of that. So that's actually quite a lot of burst healing back up after the Alexstrasza.
Definitely. Now he just needs to deal with the minions at hand. And there's a few options. He can just go for the Holy Nova, deal some damage, heal also his minions as well, because the other play is Primordial Drake, and that actually deals damage to your own minions.
Yeah, he's going for the Drake though. So at the end of the day, although you deal damage to your own minions, you do want to pile some pressure on them. Primordial Drake is very difficult indeed to actually deal with the huge 8 health. It's basically another Twilight Drake with Taunt.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's true. And historically speaking, Freeze Mage has huge problems with minions that have more than 6 HP.
Yep.
If it has 7, well, it's kind of awkward because you need to Fireball and ping
It
it.
takes
But
a lot
it's
of
like,
resources, right? Yeah.
But in example, a Ragnaros was the biggest pain in the back for the mages because you can't really freeze it.
It's like Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Ping. Was the way you could try and deal with
but
it.
if you
which
just
was
Blizzard
terrible.
it or Frost Nova, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna just shoot you in the face anyway. Fortunately for the Freeze Mages, Ragnaros is gone. There's only a simple remain of him, which is the weapon and the Warrior's Quest.
It's Flame Strike doing it's pretty good work, allowing Duck to ping off the Twilight Drake and try and start, moving on these minions here. Once you clear them off once, they become a lot easier to deal with on a 1-by-1 basis, as opposed to the Priest having like 3 big minions on the board at the same time. You're like, oh, okay, I don't have the removal for this.
What do you think about Alexstrasza right now? Sorry, not Alexstrasza. About Ysera right now.
I prefer Ysera to Alexstrasza, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I like that. You've just seen a lot of, you've seen Flame Strike, some more removal come down. You've just presented them a huge board, and the clear wasn't that good, to be honest. You did half the clear yourself by playing Volcanic Drake. Like, I'm okay with Ysera now, and this can really open up, win conditions here for Pavel.
It also gives you spells, maybe. Laughing Sister? No. It's actually a spell. So the Priest of the Feast is pretty neat.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Loot Hoarder, not the craziest draw at this point in the game. Might even end up pinging it, because this is... Ysera represents inevitability, basically. Like, if it's just left on the board and not dealt with, which we can see can't really be killed at this point, then it's going to keep generating additional cards, and those cards are very, very powerful in themselves.
Oh, interesting. Ping to the face instead of to the Ysera. I assume that he just thinks that Ysera is unkillable at this point of the game.
Yeah, why bother?
Yeah, so you're just gonna ping it. But at the same time, why bother pinging face when you know you have to Alexstrasza for the win?
Well, he might think he might have to Alexstrasza himself.
Can you win if you Alexstrasza yourself?
Sure.
I don't think so.
Well, just imagine like 2 dragons come down this turn, or a dragon and a buff. And you're like, oh, well, I'm taking a lot of damage next turn. There's only 2 Frostbolts. If you use both Frostbolts, then you're going to be taking... You're going to be able to deal 0 damage, pretty much. So, I don't mind this. It's a big ask, though. I think Duck's in a very rough position.
Because I know there are better plays, but I would like to see the Glimmer Root. Although, maybe it's not that
Just
bad.
because we like Glimmer Root.
Yeah, I like the card. Also looks good. Go. Go for the Glimmer Root, bro.
I don't think he has enough space in his hand to play the Glimmer Root, right?
3, 6, 7, 8. Well, he had 9.
Yeah, but he draws a card from Ysera and gains a card from Glimmer Root.
Hey,
Oh, just not bothered, okay. Frost Nova is going to be able to buy Duck 1 turn, though, as the 2 dragons can't attack. And is that another dream?
Alexstrasza into Alexstrasza. But
Otherwise.
there's an upper hand in the form of the Ice Block from Ducks. But he doesn't know, little does he know, there's the Priest of the Feast.
You can even
with
dream the Loot Hoarder.
Man, this is so much heal on top of the Shadow Ward depth and other stuff that will happen right now. Power Shield goes down. First draws a card. Dream will affect the Loot Hoarder. Shadow Ward depth will kill the Alexstrasza. He can also get... That's not important.
Yeah, I'd love to see Dream on the Loot Hoarder here. It's extra heal. And also not too bad, because it means if Duck wants an additional card draw, he has to play the Loot Hoarder for 2 and ping it for 2 as well, which is a gigantic portion of the turn. There is still only 12, 13 damage with a ping from Duck. And this looks pretty grim for him, as there is just not a lot he can do now. Pavel stabilized. The Priest of the Feast is just not even close to dying, unless you commit a Fireball and a Frostbolt, but that's another 9 healing the Priest has done. So, yeah, everything's looking pretty grim for Duck. Pavel...
Third dream in a row, man.
Pavel's just took a cool, calm, collected approach to this game. It's, at any point, he has not even looked close to being flustered. He's just like, yeah, I'm just playing yet a different version of Priest we've seen. I think this is close to the one the guys from the Philippines were playing.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it looks with the 2 Glimmer Roots and the and
Glimmer
the Priest
Roots,
of the Feast.
the Crystalline Oracle,
and
but
the Priest of the Feasts.
I believe they are not playing Nether Spite Historian still.
Potentially, yeah.
Right.
As in Pavel isn't.
You just don't need that synergy, like so much synergy, right? The dragons are powerful on their own, so you just need a decent early game to deal with any stuff that will pop out in the beginning, right? In the early game, and then you just drop dragon after dragon after dragon and just take over. If you need to reset the game, Priest of the Feast comes in handy.
Yep. So we're going to see Duck try and hold on with Ice Block into the replaying the Loot Hoarder onto the board. Ice Barrier as well means that it's not necessarily lethal available, even though there could be 2 Nightmares in hand for, you know, for all Duck knows. Oh, even a Frostbolt one. Trying to kill that Priest. You just dream the Priest of the Feast.
What?
You could just heal it. Oh.
Yeah, here we go.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Which one holds the ball? Well, it's
100%
definitely not
over,
Animalus, and it's not Counterspell, so it's easy Frost Nova. But do you want to even pick it?
I'll take an extra card.
Wow.
Just play it, you heal. And the Loot Hoarder doesn't.
Yeah, well. True.
Did he get it wrong?
Did he pick Frost Nova and didn't get it? I think so. He actually clicked Frost Nova and didn't get it.
Is he playing Counterspell?
So, okay,
Oh.
so my guess is, because we didn't check that, right? Is that Glimmer Root actually doesn't count the cards in the hand.
So
Because they have to be in the deck.
So is Counterspell in the deck? Is that what you're telling me?
Or Animalus.
Okay. Let's find out. It's an Elemental as far as I'm aware, so it's that sweet Elemental synergy in Freeze Mage. But yeah, we'll see. Pavel's still in a fantastic position regardless of the Glimmer Root outcome. And he can pretty much do what he wants here. Holy Nova going to be an additional 5 heal all the way back up to full. Why not? Do it. Pavel, world champion, does what he wants. He's probably not even talking about the game at this point to his friends. He's just saying, yeah, what are you up to tonight, guys?
Logan was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
There it is, Pavel, current world champion, puts one away for Russia, and now it's 2-0, Russia versus Spain. Great victory for him, and he's just another day at the office for Pavel.
With a cool view.
Yeah, that is literally outdoors. That is what it looks like from the...
It has to be windy
apartment.
with such a big window.
The wind doesn't bother the champion. But yeah, that's a really great victory for them, and now Russia is on match point. If their next player wins the next game, it's a 3-0 sweep of Spain. We've seen multiple teams in this position throughout the day, and I don't think we've not had any 3-0s, right? They've been 3-1.
No. All 3-1s and 3-2.
Yeah. So we've not seen any 3-0s yet, but if there's ever a team that's going to do it, it's probably Russia.
Most likely, and they have a chance to do it right now. 2-0. This game was actually pretty cool. I like watching Priests. It's like a deck that doesn't really appear as intrusive as other control decks, but at the same time they're really cool to just see the interaction between the cards, because there's so much synergy between them, right?
Yeah, and we can see what the next game is going to be. ShtanUdachi versus Josemi. Josemi. Yeah, there we go. I'm probably potentially butchering that. I'm sorry, but it is going to be Rogue versus Warrior. And what I'm looking forward to here is during the championships and during the playoffs, you were there, you saw where ShtanUdachi played extremely quick.
Yes.
But very, very well. And Rogue was one of the decks he played very well and has played a lot of. And I kind of hope, for our sakes, that this is Miracle Rogue and not Quest Rogue, because Shtan can do some wonderful things with Miracle Rogue, I believe, and I'm excited to see what his build is. But the Warrior on the other side of the board for Spain is going to be very interesting again, because suddenly Rogue versus Pirate Warrior could be a bit of a problem.
It can be, yes.
Get to see Shtan there. looking good as always in his team jersey, and Josemi looking great as well.
Well, let's be fair about the Warrior on Warrior deck though. A lot of people like new shiny things, and the Taunt Warrior is the new shiny thing.
Yeah. But what gets interesting, and what these teams are going to have to start doing, is if they put forward their lineup, and if they have any thoughts of they won't know who they're going to hit, but when they do, if they bring Pirate Warrior to say, well, if my opponent has, there are a lot of classes that are weak to hyper aggro, Rogue being probably #1 up there,
and that's like nothing new.
yeah, and you can just jam that straight away for like a probably clean win, because it seems that favored, at least at this point. Then, just bringing Pirate Warrior just for that off chance you might hit a Rogue player could be really good.
Yeah, I agree, and it will be a cool thing to see if they actually nailed the prediction with the matchup, because if you bring, as you said, the Pirate Warrior, it's to the specific matchup, most likely, right? And if you nail the player that you wanted to play against, and he has Rogue, and you have a Pirate Warrior, it has to feel good.
Yeah, that's very difficult, though. I think they're going to put Shtern third. That gets very difficult. The order in which the players play is done without, obviously, each team's knowledge of each other. So you just say, I want to play first, Lothar plays second, for example, and then you see who you get matched up against. But the class is already decided and such there, I believe. So that would be quite the call. But yeah, we are going to see the Rogue versus Warrior matchup. It's going to be pretty cool either way. Control Warrior is quite fun now with all the crazy taunt minions, and what I like about it is the flip in style from it goes defensive, defensive, defensive. My quest is done. Get him.
I'm gonna fireball.
Yeah, just 8 damage to face every turn for 2 mana, as well as everything else you can do. It's definitely a lot of fun that they can flick that switch, so to speak, as opposed to just going, oh, okay, I think I'm okay. Tank up, tank up, tank
it's
up.
Like it's like driving a manual car, and it's like from reverse to full speed ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good to watch. I believe the players are just getting ready, making sure they're all good, and we have everything that's set up for them. So, do you think Spain's got what it takes to fight back?
Well, I think as a crowd pleaser, I would like to see just a 3-0, just to have that one clean sweep and a narrative.
We don't get to see Evangelion play.
That's true.
I am so surprised he's 4th.
Yeah,
I am so surprised. Okay, so we are going into it, and we can see Shtan is playing the Miracle Rogue by looks of things, and Josemi is playing the Taunt Warrior.
Well, that actually puts a lot of chances for Russia. Because Miracle Rogue, if it actually pulls off the Gazetton turn, even without the Conceal anymore, seems to be heavily favored against the Taunt Warrior. Because it's just a slow deck, doesn't really apply pressure that much. The Rogue can be just, kind of chilling till they actually draw the Gazetton and then go off, right? So it doesn't look bad for Shtan from the beginning.
Well, also as well, if we see it, and I imagine Shtan's going to play it, I hope so, is Sherazin Corpse Flower. Very good versus Warrior. Isn't affected by Brawl when it's dead anyway.
Yeah, but this opening hand...
It's a little bit rough, I'll admit. But it's not affected by Brawl, and it's just continuous pressure. But 2 Bloodhoof Braves versus 2 Arcane Giants at 12 mana feels kind of bad.
Oh, look at that. You can actually play Cultist on turn 3 with a full-blown dagger.
Yeah, you can. Seems good.
That's 6 damage out of nowhere.
Pirate Rogue.
Pirate, oh my god. This seems like armor up for Sammy.
This is actually pretty reasonable, because suddenly now the petal you get from the Razor Leaf and the Blood Mage Thanos means that's a 1 mana 2 damage. Obviously with the Thanos on board as well. But you can probably start to hack through this board pretty well. 2/3 dagger. Maeve is just overpowered, it seems, the new rogue hero.
True that. Do you want to attack with the dagger?
I don't think so.
Well, I have seen some warriors playing the new Ooze.
Oh, yeah. Slime.
Yeah, that was just
What's in a slime? Yeah, maybe you do then. I think what's going to be crazy as well is I've seen some of these miracle lists actually run one of the poison for the dagger, the insta-kill stuff.
Well, Envenom, I'm not really a fan of Envenom, although...
What if I told you were going to play against Taunt Warrior?
Yeah, that's
sick.
Exactly what I wanted to say. I see the value in Envenom only in one matchup so far, and that's the matchup.
Yeah.
And you're already kind of favorite in this, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't be too upset with this matchup. But on ladder, it's a different story because you're facing a multitude of different things. And Venom might not be good enough, but if you build an very specific tournament deck, there's always the chance. There's the Razor Pal in hand.
I like how Shtan actually plays all the minions first, because he knows he needs the card draw to just get to that gadget as soon as possible, apply some pressure. Even a simple Thanos here just gets you on the board faster, gives the buff for the Fenol's Knives that is really needed, for the Rezo Pedal actually as well. It's 2 damage out of 1 mana. That's actually pretty sick.
It's great as well that we're on turn 4 for Shtan and he's played 0 spells. Because the Arcane Giants are still 12. So that's kind of funny. But he's building up a bit of a board, and suddenly, you know, this Bloodtooth Brave, it's just going to die from the board. Never mind what the Rogue's going to play out next turn as well.
Imagine if he will draw a Backstab.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It's just devastating.
Backstab, Fan Petal, go.
Yeah. What do? Just get smashed for additional 7 damage this turn. Maybe even 9. If the Dag will get used, and that's fantastic for Shtan. He's actually applying pressure when we all thought that this matchup will be not about applying pressure in the beginning, because you usually don't have that option.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Josemi is actually going to drop down Bloodtooth Brave though, so it's going to be a little bit of a big dude in the way. But let's see what the draw is for Shtan. Does have
another Razzle Petal Lasher. And that allows you to use well,
he could just
Agent this turn, but you get blown up by Brawl.
Yeah, well, he could just lash a Dagger Pel.
I don't like using that amount of petals here, because you still know that you don't have a lot of spells for the Gazetton if you get to draw it. And with having 2 Arcane Giants in the hand, you want to chain as much spells as possible. So I would rather see Fan of Knives here, just to get the
spell damage
value
is
first.
pretty nice. Oh, okay.
So
Alright, she's got to play the
overextension. Okay.
Well, he did trade 2 minions and repeated 2 minions, right? So
Yeah,
these guys are bigger, so it looks like Shtan's just favoring a minion-heavy board and then going to blow up with spells later on. Hallucination, fantastic card that will discover a card from your opponent's class as well.
Look at that. The goal into Sleep with the Fishes will put all those minions to sleep.
Yeah, that's actually a sick combo.
And now Shtan is looking not that great of a turn. Hallucination can give him some steam for the next turn, but still, I feel like I would like to play that Fan of Knives when it can get value, damage a minion, deal 2 damage, cycle a card, and not overextend into any kind of mass removal.
Yeah, this is kind of nuts though. You see the difference when you know the Miracle Rogue player starts with 2 Arcane Giants in their opening hand. Definitely not fantastic. I'm surprised Shtan's actually in as good a position as he is. Even as I say this, the board gets cleared. There is only a ghoul though, and it did mean that the big taunt isn't going to come down this turn at least. So, backstab.
All right, well this can give you options. I think I would start actually with Fan of Knives. I mean, backstab Fan of Knives. Maybe not even.
What if you hallucinate first? I think.
Well,
what if you hallucinate into a taunt? You just play a 5-drop taunt, for example.
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm thinking, there are better chances of actually getting a Mimic Pod or, an example, an Agent from your deck than getting something really on curve with Hallucination.
I think the list only runs 1 Agent normally. Grime Street Informant, Blood to Ica, and Charge are the options. I guess it's Grime Street Informant. I mean, you could.
Yeah. I think it's Grime Street Informant as well. You still have 3 mana, so you can still use Fan of Knives this turn with the backstab. Let's see what it gets. A Light in the Darkness is actually pretty reasonable.
What about Heroic Strike, though, as well? You could just Heroic Strike down to 3/3. Looks like it doesn't care too much about that. It's going to just give the +++ to a minion instead.
Oh, he can get a Gazetton out of this. An Auctioneer out of Light of Darkness.
I thought it's a Death Rattle.
Does it? I think it's just discover a minion, right?
Now I'm worried. Now I'm questioning myself. I'm probably wrong. Okay, so yeah, so the Ali Armorsmith is a pretty reasonable, straightforward option here. But with the 1/1 down, the Acolyte plus Weapon is definitely a consideration. But it does mean you're just delaying the amount of time for your taunts to get stacked up. And just start generating armor. Ally Armor Smith gaining as much armor as it deals damage.
And sap doesn't really feels that bad if you actually get sapped this turn.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can damage you on board. So the sap is just basically, you skip your turn, I might develop something, but at least you're not getting smashed. And just so you know, the quest for the warrior is actually not really that far progressed. It's only 2 out of 7. So still far, far away from fulfilling the sulphurous dream.
Yeah, and to be honest, Josemi might actually not want to get it too quickly because it does kind of need some armor at this point and be a little bit
to play the weapon, right?
Yeah, true.
Another coin.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
So we're going to see some light in the darkness, I think. Because there's just nothing else to do.
We can coin out Giant.
That would worry me, though. Mainly because, like, just trade, execute.
Yeah.
It just blows you out. Like, an
Sounds
8-mana Giant
so
doesn't feel
bad.
great.
And your opponent is holding the left card for such a long time. Yeah, probably the light in the darkness is a better option right now.
It's definitely a tough call, though. But I do think that if you look at this hand, imagine, you know, I'm okay waiting 1 or 2 turns to see if Gadgetzan comes out.
He's actually going for the Giant. That's the old saying. Coin out the Giant, right? The Mountain Giant.
Yeah. Just different Giant this time. Whirlwind execute. Might even be better here. Clears off the 1/1.
Is it better?
Oh no, you can slam, right? You just trade the Acolyte anyway.
I think it's better to play Armor Smith and execute while trading with the Acolyte of Pain.
No, I like the extra card draw here. I'll just slam. You don't need the taunts yet. Because if you play a taunt this turn, well, you've got no other taunts in hand anyway, so the quest isn't getting completed anytime super soon.
Yeah, but you build up hero powers basically for free, and your opponent is not on board, while you can get ahead. With the weapon, you actually can clear any minion that's gonna get played. Even a Gadgetzan. Because if you lose the Auctioneer right now, and you didn't have Sleep with the Fishes, how do you deal with an Auctioneer if it's get played?
You don't.
Well, actually, there's still 1 charge from the weapon. Never mind.
So Ravaging Ghoul gonna be nice as well.
That's actually
I
pretty
haven't
sweet.
played the Ghoul.
Yeah. Just wanted to get additional draw, right? It's pretty good, damn good. There's the Brawl, kinda too late. But he still had decent option for turn 5 with the Ghoul and Sleep with the Fishes.
Okay, so Shtan can still play his Giant if he really wants to. Ironforge Portal, Shield Block, and Clear. I'd like a Shield Block, please, sir.
Definitely Shield Block. You want to cycle as soon as possible. Get that Auctioneer out of your deck.
Yep. So I've got tons of cheap spells to be able to combo it with. It is going to be the Shield Block for Shtan. He's going to raise the petal off the Acolyte as well. Interesting move. Oh, okay, so he's going for the Giant. Sure.
Well, he committed with the first one, right? So I guess you want to commit with another one. It can be killed with ease. Slam, trade, Sleep with the Fishes.
Could just face tank 8.
Yeah, well, you can. You don't really know the list of your opponent, though. So, is it wise to take that amount of damage right now?
Probably not. Probably not.
But you can develop the minion, though. So, that's an upside. Or you can top deck execute.
See what happens. Going to start off with the slam. Dirty Rat. We know that it would be a just good 2/6 taunt.
I'm guessing Josemi should also know that there's no minion. Like, he didn't play anything for a very long time, right? If you play Giants for 6 mana in a Rogue, you probably have nothing else in your hand that it is a creature.
So this is going to be a bit of an uphill climb now. ShtanUdachi has Curator, sorry, he's got to beat Curator and the Armor Smith as well. I discovered minion, yeah, I'm just making stuff up, mate. Don't worry about it. Oh, Valspine.
Oh, Shackle.
Valspine, just snipe it. Hum.
I don't know, man. I kind of like Shackle. Although without Conceal in the decks, it's kind of weird.
You get like the 1 attack,
yeah,
right?
just get 1, and that's about it.
What's nice as well is now Whirlwind and Weapon doesn't kill it because it's getting the +1/+1 from the Discover.
This minion would have actually been pretty sick if they had this stat line like
Oh,
crazy.
it'd be ludicrous.
Curator will draw a dragon. Might be a Deathwing, actually. Nope, it's the Primordial Drake. There are a few versions of the Taunt Warrior. Some of them play actually 3 dragons, so 2 Primordial Drakes and the Deathwing. Some of them are playing 1 Primordial Drake, 1 Deathwing. Some are not even playing Deathwing at all.
Yeah, I'm not huge. It depends what you want to do, right? Deathwing can be good in very certain matchups, but can also be terrible in others.
Oh,
so
yeah, definitely.
going for the shield block here for Stam. Ooh,
Oh!
Okay, Valspine's pretty good, guys. There's another taunt minion
Chomp.
gobbled up.
But he still needs the Gazetan. How many cards does he have left?
It's fine, he has another Valspine.
12?
He just draws Valspine again. Combo, kill the next taunt, go.
That's true.
Mortal Drake means he can trade into a slightly bigger one. Just take 4 damage to the face to do so.
Well, you can also just execute the bigger one if you want to.
Yeah, execute and trade, take 3.
Well, what other minions do you want to kill with execute? Now that you have the Primordial Drake on board?
And Cleef.
Good point.
Yeah. Or Edwin Van Leaf, if he's running
Yeah,
it.
the
1/1.
Bitter Blossom, right?
Edwin Van Leaf?
Edwin Van Leaf is a better way to name it. Now I want to think about it. Why Blizzard? Why? Why didn't we name it like that?
Just call it Edwin Van. They put it in the text, it's fine.
Van Leaf. Such a cool name. At least it should be in the flavor text.
It is.
Oh, it is?
It's the flavor text. That's where
Never
it came
mind.
from, yeah.
Never mind. then.
Also known, or AKA Edwin Van Leaf.
Okay, that's pretty brilliant then.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to use the weapon to trade into the 4/3 here and clean this one up. Primordial Drake is quite the opposition here to Stan.
Oh my god, that is the
Hey.
draw that he needed.
Look
Now
at the
it will
smile.
get off.
Look at the smile on Stan's face. He's like, I've been waiting for you.
Not killing the Vilesland Slayer is actually really important because now it will get through that with the sap or with the removal and will smash face for additional damage.
Yeah, and the fact that there's the second Slayer in hand now means that he can just insta-kill any taunt that's played next turn as well.
Eviscerate to the face as well.
Just
0
game.
mana. How much damage is that?
Backstab face, go!
No, he can backstab Swashbuckler. Play Swashbuckler, see what you get.
Yeah, I like
Can
it.
backstab
Go all in.
Swashbuckler. Charge. Not useful at all.
I mean, you can
I mean,
cast it.
you can actually use Gazetan next in with charge, get a card draw and charge into a minion.
Cold blood. Woof!
7 damage to the face. He didn't attack with the dagger yet, so that's 1 of lethal.
And he has Valspine next turn with charge.
So, as you can see, not using the execute to kill off that second minion or even use whirlwind effects might have cost him the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, so let's think. What if you're in Team Spain's position, what is the highest chance of survival? I think it's double taunt.
You think so? If you just leave Gazetan on board, you're dead. Your opponent will just cycle the entire deck right now
hang on.
and get the second
So
eviscerate.
Drake execute then.
No, I think it's Armor Smith actually. The Ali Armor Smith. I mean, first, double whirlwinds.
You need to kill both though, both minions, right?
Yeah. So, double whirlwinds and execute Ali Armor Smith. You still die to eviscerate, but your opponent might not have it, right? And generates armor next turn because you can attack with it.
Doesn't matter anyway, this is gonna be game. And Russia are gonna 3-0 due to the third Vilespine Slayer of the day. ShtanUdachi is just gonna mimic Pod because...
It's a cool card.
Double missed anyway.
He should
Get
have
him.
used that.
Yeah, excuse me, get him. And that's gonna be Russia 3-0. hugely dominant performance. And let's be honest, we all know the Russia team was fantastic. ShtanUdachi, one of the players that makes that happen, the current winter champion, and he's absolutely great performance. He kind of, everything looked a little bit ropey for a minute, and he was like, oh yeah, 3 Vile Spine Slayers against Taunt Warriors seems pretty good. So that Light in the Darkness was absolutely huge for him.
Yep.
And he got out the win. And also, I actually didn't realize that there was still the second Eviscerate left. So, an extra 8 damage from the Mimic Pod Eviscerate probably would have got the job done. So.
The Mimic Pod is a nutty card. If you get
cool, yeah.
double traps, it's cool. If you get double backstab, cool. Everything was actually useful. And here we are. Russia versus Spain, 3-0, a swift, dominant performance. Mage, Priest, and Rogue did it. Silver Name didn't even have to play. And so did Evangelion.
Yeah, really funny as well, Mage Priest Rogue. It's actually a World of Warcraft arena comp called RMP. So Rogue Mage Priest.
Oh,
that kind of just tickled me. That was the winning composition from Russia. But yeah, I mean, again, I just want to genuinely mention that Evangelion just didn't get to play because he was the 4th player, and that surprises me. I rate Evangelion very highly as a player, and I would, if I was him at least, put myself in the first 3 to guarantee a game. I don't know, it's crazy.
Well, we have seen the same with Oskaka in Sweden, right? He probably is perceived as the best player in the team, and yet he was playing as the 4th player and as the ace match.
Sure.
So,
well, that again, if Evangelion was the 4th and ace match, then you'd be like, I'll close the game. I'll close it out if there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And if they go close, but I don't know. I guess you don't really expect to lose 0-3 in a series. But Russia, that's looking fantastic as they, to no one's surprise, sit at the top of the group. Although, of course, only 1 match being played. Just to remind you guys, in Group C, and Spain going 0-1, and most importantly, 0-3 in the score. And as we've mentioned before, and we'll mention again, the game record is going to be impactful in tiebreakers once we get towards and the end of the stage 1 10-week period of this tournament.
Oh yeah, it's the tiebreaker will be important. We have seen an example of Karakute, the representative of Philippines. She actually didn't get to the next stage of HCT because of the tiebreaker. Yeah. Right, so harsh things can happen when you just lose 1 match 0-3.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one, but overall, that's 5 matches for us today. I hope you guys have had fun. We can see what the scores were like. We obviously just saw Russia win. Russia's not coming up next. We've done that one, but yeah, we've had the 5 matches total, and they were all kind of great. It feels like we've only 2 minutes ago that we were kicking off the day with Czech Republic and Philippines. It was maybe longer than 2 minutes ago.
I think it was longer than 2 minutes ago.
But absolutely great day. I was super hyped for Global Games, and these matches are not letting me down.
The same goes for me, but I'm even more hyped because we just have the new expansion.
Yep.
And it's a pleasure to watch all those teams bring up the new decks. And let's make a quick recap of what was happening today.
Yeah, so we kicked off the day with Czech Republic versus the Philippines. A very close series, 3-2 overall, but with Czech Republic being led by Stansivka taking that one there. Then we had South Korea versus Greece. One of the teams I'm rooting for in the form of South Korea performed very, very well with a 3-1 victory over those guys.
Then Poland unfortunately loses to Taiwan 1-3. China, after a 2-0 lead, they blew it and lost 3 games in a row against Sweden. Russia, you just saw it, guys, a swift, dominant performance against Spain, 3-0. By the way, if you want to see something interesting, that I think that was the best game of the entire day, was Stansivka versus that was
the Waning Moon.
Waning Moon, yes, with the Warlock against Priest.
Sure. That was a long time ago now.
That was the first match, but
check
it was
out
super interesting.
But we can check out all of the series. I have no doubt the Twitch VODs they'll be going up on YouTube, and I believe we can check out what the schedule is going to look like for you guys tomorrow as well. We are back, and I believe Sol may be joining us and gracing us with his presence. So we'll be checking out tomorrow, where we've got 5 more matches. We have Finland versus Norway, Netherlands versus Romania, which is going to be a good one for you. We'll make sure you're casting that one, or maybe we make sure you're not casting that one. And then we have Germany versus Ukraine, Canada versus France, and then the best place, the United Kingdom versus the United States.
So
what is
I'm gonna make sure you're not gonna cast this one.
Nah, me and Sol are on this one. 0 bias confirmed. But what a set of matches tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. set of exciting matches. It seems like also a lot of rivalry, right? United Kingdoms, United States, Finland, Norway.
Scandinavian, yeah.
Yeah, Scandinavian countries kind of hate each other. That's what I heard.
Netherlands, Romania, G2 rivalry. Germany, Ukraine, top-notch players, and then Canada and France, both regions and countries with the very very strong, but very
They both speak French as well.
Look, I'm pretty sure there's different dialects and stuff, which I'm not going to get into because one, I don't know them well enough, and two, I think people argue about this, so I'm sorry. But no, that was a ton of great matches coming up tomorrow. We're going to be same again, and then we'll obviously let you know more info about this on tomorrow, but on Thursday, we've got more coming up. But yeah, for today, it's been fantastic, Lothar.
It was an amazing day. Goosebumps since the beginning, so hopefully the next matches will be as good as today.
Yep, so that is going to be it from us for today. We are going to be back tomorrow with some more Hearthstone global games. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.